Good day everyone, I'm Rovegen to Bonita from BSSW 1A, and today we'll discuss about the various cultural and intercultural modes of communication. But first, let's define what communication. So what is communication? Communication is the act of giving, receiving, and sharing information. In the other words, talking, writing, and listening or reading. Good communicators listen carefully, speak or write clearly, and respect different opinions. So, cultural communication. Cultural communication, an overview of cultural differences in communication. Your culture affects the way you communicate with others, as it includes beliefs and behavior norms that influence how you think and what do you do while communicating. Knowing about the cultural based features that impact communications is essential, for cultures differ and exchanging data is essential for your career development. Filipino cultural modes of communication. So the national language is Tagalog, is largely based on it. Most Filipinos also speak English, and English is used as the medium of teaching in most schools in the Philippines. Because most media is in Tagalog and English, it's no surprise that most Filipinos communicate in English. They are Filipino also, they are welcoming and nice people. Filipinos always ground regardless of how they are feeling. If they are meeting someone for the first time, it's a good idea to smile at them before starting a conversation. So in the Philippines, we've seen so many culture from different places, religions, and belief. It's like a united nation because of people who lives there with different traditions and sometimes different language that for others unable to understand. So also in the Philippines is one of the world's largest archipelago nations. It is situated in Southeast Asia in the Western Pacific Ocean. Its islands are classified into three main geographical areas: the Luzon, Visayas, and Mindanao. Because of its archipelagic nature, Philippines is cultural diverse country. So the types of communication and cultural modes of communication. So in verbal communication, we have the indirect communication, refusal, and respect. In nonverbal communication, we have physical contact, personal space, laughter, pointing, and gestures. So in verbal communication, in indirect communication, in order to avoid losing face and evoking hiya on both sides of an exchange, Filipinos often communicate indirectly. They avoid interrupting others and pay more attention to the posture, expression, and tone of voice to draw meaning. In refusal, many Filipinos will be too cautious and really give a simple no or negative reaction in order to save face and avoid hiya in other conversations. Try to pay attention to signals of hesitancy when speaking with your Filipino counterpart. Pay great attention to what they say as well as what they don't say. So in nonverbal communication, laughter. So laughter is Filipinos laugh a lot in conversations, yet the meaning of laughter varies depending on the occasion. Laughter can be used to express enjoyment or pleasure, or pleasure of it can be used to release tension, laughter can be used to cover up embarrassment in some situation. And also the physical contact. Filipinos frequently stroll hand in hand or arm in arm with relatives or friends of the same gender. This is usually done as a display and affection, friendships, or if they are shy and want to be accompanied. In their interaction with their significant other, Filipinos are modest and traditional, and public shows of affection between couples, such as kissing or hugging, are unusual. So, intercultural communication. So, intercultural communication is the study and application of knowledge and cultural perception and symbol system of people belonging to different cultures. The intended meaning of any message differ when encoded by a person of a certain culture and decoded by someone of the other. The different meaning of symbol in different culture also vary, making the interpretation difficult. While applying intercultural communication, it refers to making people aware and able to adapt others' cultural when they communicate with them and thus have a meaningful communication. Types of intercultural communication. There are basically two types of intercultural communication: the verbal communication and the non-verbal communication. So, the verbal communication consists of words used to communicate message, whereas non-verbal communication is gesture that give out message. So, spoken and written language are part of verbal communication, which must be considered highly while in cultural communication. Cultural factors affect verbal communication as people can sometimes not to be able to speak or write in language of a receiver. Use of words, dialects, accents, slangs, or etc. can also be different according to their own culture. So, similarly, nonverbal consists of communication that occurs without words like facial expression, hand and body movement, eye contact, use of object, clothing, and etc. They also help in making message clear or can give the different message as well. And in non-verbal communicating also, these kinds of problem might arise. For instance, thumbs up sign is taken as a symbol to say okay in most cultures, but it has offending meaning in Iran, Latin America, and some other cultures. Similarly, eating with hands is considered to be accepted way to eat in India culture, but is taken as mannerless in many other cultures. Important of this is very in intercultural communication. It is important lacking in intercultural communication can lead to the insult of culture and people involved, especially for business people or many providing services in areas out of their culture. People interpret message based on their culture, so what do you mean might be not be what the other person understands. Your your intention might not be met as their attribution towards you might be telling them something else about you. Intercultural differences also cause lack of trust between people as the meaning of trust issue between people. Material culture and use are also different between cultures, like the use of spoons and chopsticks for eating. Other things like architecture, clothing, cosmetics, and etc. Differ cultural wise, and if you do not have knowledge of it, your communication fails or it not effective. That's all about the various cultural and intercultural modes of communication. I hope you have learned something. Again, this is Rovegen Bonita from BSSW 1A. That's all. Thank you.